Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review of Kandi and the Gang, Season 1, Episode 3. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, Torin and Phillip, child, they still going at it. Torin is like, I wanted an introduction. So Phillip goes, well, I would like to get back to, my work because it's more entertaining and productive than you are. Sir, you called this meeting. He was minding his business, him and his measuring tape, wasn't bothering nobody. You just mad because he got you all the way together, okay? So Torin said, well, you started and I was actually busy. So then Torin gets up, child, but he ain't done. So he's still talking. He's like, you're exactly who everyone says you are. You're a great guy. You got some stuff to prove, buddy. Okay, Torin, you're doing a little bit much, honey. Just go on, leave it alone. You done got up from the table. You just adding fuel to the fire. Just don't say nothing else. Get you in your little yellow sweater and go on where you got to go. Baby, Phillip wasn't ready for that, which is Torin. Okay? When Phillip walked out, he went right back to tapping on that laptop. Leave people alone, because this is what you get. So inside the restaurant, Torin runs into Kandi Coated, and he gives her a few compliments, and then just as he's about to get into it, Phillip walks by, right? So Torin is like, fake. Here go, Kandi. Why you say that? Y'all know Kandi. Kandi was like, why you say he fake? So then he tells her what went down in the event space, right? Over at Don Juan's table, Phillip is like, Big Bird in his yellow sweater. He's on one today, and I'm not dealing with it. Sir, again, you summoned him, and why all the name calling? It's giving disrespectful. And you thought you was finna say something to Kandi, but then you cut that corner and realized Torin was sitting across from her, and you ain't say nothing. Child, this is a whole fool. Moving forward. So he's like, I don't like him. I just don't like him. Okay, well, this is business, honey. And if you're ever the professional, then people you work with, you cannot like them. Okay? You work with people you don't like all the time. You just don't like him because you weren't able to sun him. That's what it was. So back with Kandi. Torin is saying, even with his sunshine shirt on, honey, Phillip came in like a rain cloud, had a dark cloud hovering over him and got him 38 hot. So Kandi tries to smooth things over and tells him that he can go back into the event space because Phillip is not in there anymore and everything's going to be everything. So Kandi goes over to Phillip and Don Juan to figure out what is going on. So Phillip was like, he's crazy. She said, how is he crazy? She said, he came to me and said that he went in there with his measuring tape and you went in on him. Phillip is like, he came in real strong, like we need him. Phillip, stop trying to manipulate this situation. Cut the crap. He did not come in there like we need him. No, he did not. That's not how he came in. And Kandi does need him. Okay, she hired him back. He said, I don't need him to manage events. I'm good. He was like, if y'all want to bring him back, then he gonna have to report to y'all because I'm not dealing with him at all. So baby, Kandi and Don Juan looking at each other like, what the hell? He telling us what he is and isn't going to do. Oh, okay. So Kandi said, okay, you tripping. You have dealt with this before at Blaze, so don't let this time be any different. Child, he being childish. So in the confessional, Kandi gonna say, I pay you. You don't pay me. So don't tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, child, sounds like that's what he's doing. So she said, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna roll back because at the end of the day, you told me that you were used to dealing with different situations, so do that. Ooh, baby. In the next scene, Torin shows up to Patrick and Melvin's place, and he wants to help them to decorate the place and whatnot, and also help them with the housewarming. And I was looking around, I was like, this place is actually very nice. I hope he has a budget for Torin, honey, because that family loves pro bono work. Torin, you got your tool belt on, but make sure you have your invoices too. Back at the restaurant, business is going as usual, and Chandrika is trying to get the tables and stuff in order, and Brian's taking orders, and they're trying to figure out where's Waldo, aka Dom Unique, because she is nowhere to be found. So Brian is talking about, where's the busser? Is he on the bus? That was funny to me. I said, that is the bus on the bus. Boy, baby Chandrika working this restaurant today. Do y'all hear me? I mean, she is working. Y'all see she does work. So they asked Brandon, who is the manager, okay, mind you, he's the manager, where his boo thing is, because they been open. And he's like, she's on her way. Okay, well, that's fine that she's on her way, but they need drinks now. There is no way. In the restaurant that I worked at, if the bartender was late, then they were replaced. And usually they would normally schedule 2 bartenders just in case something like this happened. But luckily, Brian used to be a bartender, but it's not good for his mental health and his sobriety to be behind the bar. So the whole thing is a fool. So Dom FaceTimes Brandon to let him know that she was on her way. So Brian tells us that Brandon lets Dominique stroll in whenever she feel like it. Of course he does, honey. He like her. I know she dances, but she still needs to be on time. Okay, and that's that on that. Then in the middle of the busy restaurant lunchtime rush, Brandon is sitting down eating at the bar top. Brandon, the restaurant is falling apart. You have a clogged sink. It's disgusting behind the bar. You have no bartender. Drinks are being ordered. And you sitting down having yourself wings with extra sauce and ranch on the side? Boy, if you don't get up, Brandon shouldn't be a manager because he's not doing nothing. Sir, you're not doing anything. Get up and make something shake. So Brian needed some drinks, right? And he was like, well, you can just make them. You can make them yourself. Now, why would you tell him that knowing that he's struggling with sobriety? Baby, Brandon is a manager so he can get free food. And trust me, I know him. I can spot him a mile away. I worked with so many managers that were just there for the manager meal. Honey, it ain't even funny. Moving forward. Finally, Dominique shows up. Hey, girl, nice to see you. And she comes in with a drink. Girl, you had time to stop? Now she stopped and got her a drink and she late, child. Oh, this is a mess. So she gets behind the bar, immediately starts complaining. Oh, it's filthy. Ooh, girl, this is what happens when you leave your bar unattended. I mean, they put all kinds of things in the bus tub. It's sauce all over the floor. It's just disgusting. And y'all only been open for an hour. Phillip wanders over to Chandrika on the other side, right? To ask how she thinks the day is going. She's like, it's a show. Okay, Dom was late. The bar is a mess. I couldn't see people for an hour because of Dominique being late. Brandon is at the bar eating. Child, then the heavens opened up. And Phillip gave Chandrika a compliment. All righty then. I said, baby, hell must be freezing over, child. I wouldn't put it past it, okay, because everything is astray since 2020. So I'm just saying, honey, I wouldn't put past hell freezing over. So he actually said to her, he was like, but you know what? You didn't tap out, though. Okay? You did what you needed to do. You saw it and you kept going. She's like, well, you know, everybody can't beat me. I'm 1 in a million. Okay, Aaliyah. Moving forward. See, I told y'all Chandrika had redeeming qualities. I told y'all. It's good to actually see these two getting along, though, because Phillip wants to be cool with people. I can just tell, but he also doesn't want them to take advantage of him. So I think he tries to like put up this tough exterior, but on the inside, he want to be accepted just like everybody else, child, and he ain't fooling me. So they go outside to speak to Brandon, him and another manager, right, to ask how the day was going as far as Brandon is concerned. He gonna say, oh, it's been cool. Sir, first of all, when they came out here, you're on your phone yet again. And I know you're not texting that plumber outside on your break. Boy. So Phillip is like telling Brandon that everybody needs to pull their weight and he can't be on his phone because it presents bad in front of the customers and the staff. So Brandon in his confessional, he was like, you know, I don't want to be the strict disciplinarian. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. Okay, you might not want to hear it, but you need to hear it. You don't have to be a tyrant to be a leader in some way. You're not leading anybody, honey. The hostess is running the restaurant. Where they do that at? That don't make absolutely no sense. You're not doing anything. Phillip is right about this. Now, I got to give him this one. He is actually right because Brandon is not presenting as a manager should. You have to be an example. Because, I mean, if you do whatever you want to do, that means I can do whatever I want to do. And if you're going to go out to drink with me and have fun with me, then we're friends. In the next scene, the gang gets together at Publico, per usual, and Chandrika shows up with her fiance boo, June. And it's kind of awkward, you know, Patrick trying to pretend like he ain't looking, but he is. So then Patrick says to the table, you know, I just want to invite all of y'all to my housewarming party. And Chandrika was like, yeah, I'm not interested in that. Because the last time that June saw Patrick, they were getting into it a little bit. So then they show us a flashback of Patrick telling Chandrika she need to get back to work. Patrick, don't you work the parking lot? Like, how you telling her what to do? Somebody probably parking without your permission. While you over here talking to Chandrika, honey, everybody parks for free. And you get a parking spot, and you get a parking spot. Patrick, if you don't get back up there, I'm trying to looking like you care to me. So she was like, you know, June knows that I'm not about to be dealing with Patrick. So he's secure. He's not worried about no other man. So Patrick, in his confessional, he's talking about, I want Chandrika to be happy. I'm happy she's with January. Mm-hmm. You might say you happy that she's with June, but Julying. Y'all saw what I did there? Julying. Child, I know it's corny, but y'all stay with me, child. So at the end of the table, Brian is telling Drika that during quarantine, some things happen to him, but he's pushed through it and he's pushed past it. He said sometimes he would wake up and he would want to be still asleep. Oh, Brian. Well, you know what? I am happy you're awake. I'm happy you're alert. I'm happy you're here to bring the zhuzh that needs to be brought to this show. I mean, the quarantine did a lot to people's mental health. It really did. I'm happy that you are persevering. So Drika was like, I'm happy for him, but I have to still keep my eye on him. Yeah, girl, keep your good eye on him, honey, and your good wig, because he gonna need it. In the next scene, it's the next day back at OLG, and Brandon is giving a quick staff talk. Honey, nobody wants to be there. 1, 2, 3, open up. So the restaurant is kind of like slow, right? So Rashad goes over to Brian at the bar, and they sit down, and up walks Brandon. Now, mind you, Brandon been sitting at the bar too. So he's telling them if they cannot sit at the bar. So they said something slick, honey. I don't even remember what they said, but they did get up. So Rashad tells us in his confessional that the staff is not allowed to sit at the bar even though management does. And I'm just going to say this. When I worked in the food service industry at a very, very, very well-known restaurant, we had the same rule. You were not allowed to sit at the bar. Now, you could come back on your day off and sit at the bar, but you could not be in your uniform because it just didn't look good for the restaurant. Like, I never really understood it until I got a little bit older, but the rule did apply to all staff, including the management. Okay, Brandon? So Brandon gonna say, I can sit there, because I am an overseer. I'm not the one that's actually doing the task. Brandon, you don't need to be sitting your butt up at that bar either. Because if I came in as a guest and something is wrong with my food, or someone says, I would like to speak to a manager, and I got to tap you on your shoulder and wait for you to wash your hands because you just got wing sauce all over them, it's looking like unprofessional. So you don't need to be sitting there either. Don't you have an office? I am pretty sure there's a back of the house office. That's where managers usually eat. Or they eat at a table ducked off where there are absolutely no guests. Brandon, get it together. Brian didn't like the fact that he told them to get up, right? Because in the past, he would always sit there. Well, Brian, in the past, that was wrong too. You're not supposed to be at the bar top. That's just the rule, honey. It's just the rules. Brandon, this is exactly what Phillip was talking about, though, because they see you do it and then they want to do it too. Moving forward. Brandon didn't like Brian's little attitude, child, about getting up because it was in front of customers and other staff. So he goes to tattle to Phillip. Not you going to tell after you said you didn't want to discipline them the way that Phillip does. So you're going to allow him to do your dirty work. Brandon, personally, I didn't see anything wrong that Brian said, but I guess. You act like they friends, so they treat you as such. Now you're offended. Boy, gone. So then Phillip tells us, I don't think Brian coming back was a good idea. I just feel like some of these people come back because they're here to play. No, Kandi invited him back. He didn't ask to come back. The people that you're having problems with, Kandi don't want to let them go. So you might want to take your grievances up with Kandi. That's the common denominator in all of this. Brian was selling his egg rolls, child, at his house, and he wasn't worried about coming back up in there. So Phillip was like, I feel like this is Brandon's own fault. I told him that you needed to speak up, and since you want to whisper, then this is what you get. So Brandon says, I'm going to pull Brian to the side, and I'm going to have a little conversation with him. So then Brandon goes, yeah, I told Phillip so that he can watch how I handle it, so he can see I can be of some authority. But Brandon, I just want to know this. Is Phillip your manager too? Why couldn't you just handle it? Showing him that you can be an authority figure, that ain't going to make him change his style of managing. Honey, it's not making no sense to me. So over on the other side, Don Juan asks Phillip how the day has been. Phillip tells him about the incident with Brian, and Don Juan said, okay, the fact that Phillip has to step in just shows that Brandon isn't ready to be a GM. Child, he's not even ready to be a floor manager. He acts like a server sometimes. He wants to be liked, okay? See, this is the problem. They are on totally different ends of the spectrum. Phillip is one extreme. He's like hard as nails. It's hard to crack him. Then you have Brandon, who is so lackluster and so lackadaisical. He just pretty much blends in with the staff. You need a manager that is a manager. It is okay to smile and say good morning and tell them how good of a job they're doing. You need someone that's going to build the morale as well as manage the restaurant. I ain't one of your little friends, like your mama would tell you back in the day. I'm not one of your little friends. You don't have to be their friend, and you don't have to be a hard ass either. You need to find a sweet spot in the middle. Y'all call me. I'll come down to the ATL and get it all the way together, okay? So they all sit down to talk, right? Because, they got to get to the bottom of it. Brandon, Brian, Phillip, and Don Juan. So Phillip starts right in. So Brandon tells Brian that he didn't like the way that he responded about sitting at the bar. So Don Juan said, yes, it's about respect. So Phillip was like, yeah, you're doing too much of this. And he's like moving his hand in the motions of when you talk. So Brian said, oh, okay, so we don't have freedom of speech? Phillip said, no, you don't. Oh, okay, honey, I would have gotten right on up and walked away. Because let me tell you something. Restaurant jobs are a dime a dozen. Honey, you will not play in my face. But that's just me. He said, I've had multiple interactions with you that I don't like. And I'm fed up because you don't do anything. He's like, you know what? I can terminate you because I've been in your shoes. Here go, Brian. No, you have not been in my shoes. I'm an 8. What are you? Child, that was terrible. This right here is ridiculousness. Why are you going so hard, Phillip? You wasn't even there, child. You just don't like this guy. So Brandon gonna say, whoa, Phillip is coming in guns a-blazing, but Brian, he is your boss. Apparently he your boss too. Phillip is like, his attitude doesn't fit in with this establishment, so he's suspended, just so we're clear. In my mind, I was thinking, for what? In that case, Rashad need to be suspended too. So Brian gets loud, baby. He's like, based on what? Okay, now, Brian, you can't be hollering all up and through this restaurant because there are guests within earshot. Okay, you losing your mind, honey. Your toupee is showing. Don Juan gonna say in his confessional that Brian was very insubordinate, but also Phillip is on his third disagreement. So Don Juan takes Brian outside, right, to talk to him. And this is my thing. He shouldn't have yelled. That was disrespectful. But, okay, Phillip's attitude and the way he speaks to people, it make you want to snap. I'm just going to keep it real. It make you want to go off. Brandon started all this, if we really want to be honest. Okay? You started all this mess. Now you up moving around the restaurant. Boy. So outside, Don Juan is trying to get through to Brian, but he's like, you're not respecting him. Brian was like, well, he has not earned respect. Why should I respect him if he's not respecting me? So Phillip heard about Brian beforehand and decided not to like him. That's exactly what it was. And I told y'all that last review. But who does he like is the question. Honey, he don't like nobody but Felipe or Felix or whatever his man's name is. That's the only person he like. Moving forward. So Don Juan sent him home after talking to him, and he goes back inside to talk to Phillip. So baby Phillip is pissed. Inside, Phillip is like, I am extremely upset about what just happened. Don Juan said, I understand that. I understand. But I've had a few things with you that have gone left. So Phillip is like, it's not me. It's other people. Because I've worked in other places, and this just does not happen. Sir, if you get into it with everybody you come in contact with, it may be you. He didn't like Don Juan taking him outside. He was like, I didn't like the fact that he took him outside. Well, he was trying to diffuse the situation. If the two of you are sitting in front of each other and he's yelling inside the restaurant where guests can hear, it made sense for him to take him outside. What is wrong with you? So Don Juan is like, okay, I'm going to sit right here and wait for him to quit throwing a tantrum. He can't stand nobody, honey. He can't stand anyone that stands up to him. He should have let Brandon handle that. He should have said, okay, Brandon, we're all here. Now say what you need to say to Brian. And then just be a witness. Because when I worked in a restaurant, if something happened with a staff member, two managers would actually address the situation. One would be the manager that's actually addressing it, and the other one would be the witness. So in case they needed to write like an incident report, the server couldn't lie, or the cook, or whoever, just in case. But not both of y'all ganging up on one person, or all three of y'all ganging up on one person. Child, don't work like that. So Don Juan explains to him that he has to listen to all the parties involved. He can't just go off what Phillip says and that's it. So baby, he ain't like that. He's like, I'm not trying to undermine you. So Phillip gets up and walks away. I'm like, okay, that's rude. You're acting like a kid. So he goes out to his car, child, and does himself a little confessional. He's like, Don Juan took him outside, and Don Juan is part of the problem. That was funny to me. Everybody is a part of the problem except Phillip. Child, this is a fool. In the next scene, Patrick goes to visit Safari, his boo thing, at her body sculpting business. Okay, promo for the free. I know that's right, y'all. So while he's laying there getting his laser and frared liposuction, child, they probably ain't doing nothing. He laying there and he's telling her that he's having a housewarming party and he invited Chandrika and Torrin's gonna be doing the decorating. So Safari's like, no, I can do it. We don't need him. Child, why Shady Production gonna show her decor on the walls and whatnot? I said, child, now she got them OLG flowers. Maybe them flowers must be 2 for 1. As far as Chandrika is concerned, she was like, I don't think I like that. He was like, oh, okay, well, I'm disinviting her then. Baby, she got that man trained. Do y'all hear me? Ooh, Safari, honey, show me your ways, child. He said he's happy to be committed and not be a hoe no more. Okay, well, good for you, Patrick. In the next scene, Chandrika comes over to teach the ladies a little water aerobics. Baby, OLG is still active. That is good, because you know when you get to that age, they start to slow down. But baby, these ladies are like, let's get into it. So then Dominique gets there, and she's like, you look cute on Bertha. Here go on Bertha. No, I don't. I don't like no damn swimsuit. On Bertha, stay mad. Aunt Bertha, you did look cute in your little swimsuit. Child, Aunt Bertha gonna be mad if she don't do nothing else. Child, Mama Joyce was ready for her close-up when they got in the pool. I thought this scene was so cute. So they started doing a little water aerobics and whatnot, but Aunt Bertha got out of the pool, child. She's like, I'm good. I know what to do when I get in the bathtub. Child, when I tell y'all I cackled about that. So then they break for lunch and they start talking about the restaurant, right? So Dominique tells Kandi that Brian got suspended. She's like, what did he do now? He just started back working. So in the confessional, Todd was like, yep, sure did. But that's why we got Phillip, right? Hush, Todd. You don't know what's going on either. So Chandrika was like, you know, me and Phillip, we're good now. I just do my work and I go home. And Mama Joyce was like, yep, because whatever you did, you don't do that no more. She's like, I didn't do anything. So Mama Joyce said, yeah, you did something. You did something to get sent home. Child, just nod and smile, okay? I have learned to never argue back with an elder from the South, honey. Just nod and smile. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. So in the confessional, Mama Joyce was like, I really like Phillip. He's no nonsense. And you know, Aunt Nora, she was agreeing. Here go Aunt Bertha. I can't stand him. She said, put on there. Aunt Bertha say she can't stand him. Child, and you know they did exactly what Aunt Bertha told them to do. Phillip, your ass is grass with Aunt Bertha. You hear me? So Kandi was like, well, you know, we're going to all get together and we're going to talk. And we're going to have a talk with Phillip, you know, because we really want to have a better work environment. Moving forward. In the next scene, Brian goes on an ice cream date with Torrin. They're talking about why Torrin distanced himself from Brian. And Brian was like, I really pushed him away because, you know, I was going through some things. So he asked what made Brian spiral out of control. He said it was bartending. People asking for stuff. It was just too much. And then I would go home and I would drink, you know, to kind of numb the pain. Yeah, of course. I'm sure that did because that's a trigger for you. He said, you know, he was drinking a gallon of vodka a day. Y'all, a gallon? Oh, child, I know his liver was screaming. He said he realized that he had a problem during quarantine and what made him get clean was his sister's death. She unalived herself at 49 years old and they found a gallon of empty vodka laying next to her. When I tell y'all that is heartbreaking. And the fact that she was having the same trials that he was having, I'm sure that was a very sobering moment for him. And it's kind of good that he came back to OLG, though, to be around people because being isolated is not good for your mental health, especially when you're struggling with addiction. So I'm going to be praying for Brian because I know it's not easy to break addiction. I commend him for being able to take the necessary steps and just putting his story out there because people that are watching this show, this could potentially help them. And I'm also happy that Torrin is being there for him and not staying away. Because, you know, some people push you away, but you got to fight your way back in. It could be a life or death situation. And that was the end of the episode. The episode didn't give much, but I mean, it gave what it could give, child. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about the episode. Tell me what were your highs and your lows, honey, your peaks and your valleys, child. How were you getting into it as you got into it? Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.